What's going on, guys? It's Red Bull Tanker and Airsoft Commando coming at you with our after action video of historical board gamings, the Korean War. So as I said in the final video, the game did end up becoming a communist victory. The communists held more territory than the Allies, though the Allies definitely put up a pretty good fight near it, sort of near the end. So let's see here. I guess we'll just go into the negatives right away, because really, Airsoft Commando and I mean, we both agree on the one negative, and that's basically China's 35 IPC once they enter the war. It seems like with all the with the new rules and everything that we have for China, it just seems like 35 for them is too much. They were definitely able to really, basically, as far as building goes, seem to match the three allied powers almost on its own and what it could actually put out. And then you couple that with all the IPC that the North Koreans are making, and they basically make more than the Allies. So currently the idea right now is to drop China down to 25 IPC and then play that way. In our rule book, we did have a rule where, like, if the Allies came up here into China and bombed the factories in China, or if any Allied ground forces crossed the Yalu River into the Chinese territories, then China would get an IPC bump from the Russians. We'll probably keep that just because it's highly unlikely it'll ever happen. So there is that. As far as notes for me playing as the communists, it's definitely a different ball game playing as the communists, because really, and Airsoft Commando has said this before in some of our other videos, basically as the communist, once you take Seoul, that's pretty much it. As the communist, you don't have to do much more after that. You just have to be able to hold on and build armies in Seoul and in Pyongyang to basically counter any Allied amphibious assaults along the coastlines. And as long as you can do that, I mean, you can already guarantee yourself victory. So almost playing the communists, it's definitely easier than playing the Allies. And I mean, some of my further attacks south, I just did honestly because in most cases when I attacked south, it was kind of on a whim. But then sometimes a couple times I won big enough where then I realized, well, I can set the game back even more turns now, because now he's going to have to clear out more territories before he can really consolidate his armies to push north again. And then like I said in one video, there was a short time, had I not killed the beachhead here when I did, he was actually going to use this beachhead for attacks into the north. And so I guess I hit that beachhead in Chuncheon at the right time. Other than that, I mean, I really don't see any different way that I could have played the communists. I mean, I think I played them pretty well to the again, I played them well enough that it got me the victory. So, I guess those are my thoughts. So I will pass it on to Airsoft Commando.
Hello everybody, Airsoft Commando here. So, like he said, completely different playing the Allies as well. The initiative of the game once Seoul falls is pretty much all in your court, as long as you're playing within reason and not letting the North Koreans, just run where they want to. The other thing I found out is the importance of the air war. The air war is pretty much the make or break of this game, I found out after playing the past couple times. Because as NATO, if you don't have the air, your fleet is in constant jeopardy, and you can't really use your bombers to do what they're supposed to be doing, which is draining the enemy IPC. So those are two kind of lessons I took to heart. It's weird because it creeps up on you. You're looking at the turns, you think, I have plenty of time to collect my forces and go. I have plenty of time to do this. I have plenty of time to do that. and then you blink and you have 5 turns left. And it just sneaks up on you insanely quickly. It was a great game, and I look forward to our next attempt.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially with this game. The air war definitely became very important in this game. And again, that's where I think a lot of with the UN faction and the China faction, they both, I think, become very crucial. They become probably the more crucial partners for the air war, because they kind of have the IPC that they can quote unquote waste for the air war. Because in some cases, the U.S. and South Korea, with their IPC alone, can formulate enough of the ground armies that allow the UN to put their 20 IPC into two aircraft every turn. And then with China, I mean, with the slow buildup that they have, I mean, they can build one fighter a turn until they get in. And then once they get in, I mean, I think as me playing as China, I found a happy medium being able to do a combination of fighters and mech infantry. So that way I still had something of a ground army pushing south to the battle lines, while also still being able to put out aircraft that could really beef up the communist air forces as well. And I mean, let's face it, the air war probably could have gone very differently if the opportunity hadn't hit me where I had knocked out a good chunk of his air force when it was sitting here in Gwangju undefended. Had that opportunity not been there, I think the air war could have definitely gone differently, or the air war could definitely have stalemated. But again, that's kind of the things with these games. Sometimes you do make the mistakes, and sometimes they bite you. And hey, everyone's done it. I know I've done it in other games where I've left air forces completely undefended, and then it's like, oh crap. Now I'm going to lose my air force because I just left it completely undefended. So, but yeah, other than that, it was a great game. We're going to look, like I said, we're going to look at one or two things to switch up, and then we will go again. In the meantime, we're going to take a step back from the Korean War. And we're going to... I did lose my stick of knowledge. So we're going to take a break from the Korean War, and we're going to go back to World War II. For our next series, we are going to be doing 1940, though I guess you could call it 1939, because we're doing a setup by a guy named Osti. He created a sort of Axis and Allies 1939. So we are going to give that a shot. So be on the lookout soon for my introduction video. I'll definitely have one, maybe have two, because we are going to experiment with we're going to experiment with a couple new units. We are going to use the same technologies as 1940, but some of the technologies are a little different with what they do. There are also some updated national objectives for every single faction. And then the kicker, we are going to actually be playing with D12s instead of D6s. So we're going to experiment with that too. Sorry about the glare. That's pretty bad. But so yeah, we're going to do D12s for combat. We will still use D12s for combat, but we will still use D6s for technology rolls. But so yeah, that's it for our series on the Korean War. And yeah, now we're coming back to World War II. So until then, guys, as always, take care.